Hey, what's going on, guys? Coach Seth here. Today I want to show you guys a high protein breakfast without using any protein powder. This has kind of been my go-to breakfast here lately. So this is basically going to be like an egg wrap. I'm going to give you a couple different variations and a couple different ways to do this. A lot of it is personal preference, and I'm just going to give you like some better choices of what to do. The protein content of this is right around 37 grams. The rest of the macros are pretty good in it, and like I said, I'll explain a couple other better choices that it's gonna help the macros just a little bit more, with the total calories being right around 500. So it's pretty low calorie breakfast. I'm kind of in the middle of a cut right now, so that's why it's pretty low. I don't like to say cut just because that's kind of a bodybuilding term, and this channel is more on the athlete side of things. Still just trying to drop some body fat and drop some weight a little bit, and so I'm just eating a calorie deficit. That's why the calories are a little bit low. But let's go ahead and get right into it. Okay, so the very first thing that we're gonna do is cook up some turkey sausage. You wouldn't think that this has very much fat. I mean, it really don't. It's at about 6 grams per serving. But for me, that's a little high, so I'm just gonna use half a serving for this today. So 56 grams per serving, so I'm gonna need about 28 grams for a half a serving. Okay, that's about 28 grams. It's not a lot, but really, for me anyways, I don't need a whole lot of this, just enough to get a little bit extra flavor on this. So go ahead and add that to the pan. And this is the scale I'm using. It's actually pretty good. It's got a lot of different things for weighing purposes. If you don't have one of these, I would highly recommend it. It has been a game changer for me. If you want one like this, I'll link this one up in the description. So this should only take a couple minutes to cook up. While that's cooking, I'm gonna kind of get the eggs prepared. Okay, so I like to mix this in a separate container. Just makes it easier for me. But I'm gonna go with some egg whites. I'm gonna go with about 4 ounces of egg whites. And then I'm gonna go with 1 whole egg. So the reason I do this is because whole eggs actually have quite a bit of fat in them. They have almost the same amount of fat as they do protein. So the egg whites is just gonna add more protein with less fat. Used to, I would just pile on a bunch of eggs, and to me, that's not like the smartest thing to do. After I get it in here, I will season it just with pepper. I used to put salt in before I cook, and can't really taste it as much, and really whenever you eat it on a tortilla, you don't really need salt anyway, so just try to avoid adding extra salt. Okay, now I'm just gonna mix this up a little bit. And another thing with adding a whole egg in there rather than just having egg whites, it adds a little bit of flavor to it, so you don't just completely hate your life whenever you eat it. So that's why I kind of just add the whole egg, and it gets some healthy fats in there as well. So it's gonna add a little bit of fat and make it taste a little bit better. Okay, so it's pretty much ready for me to add this, and then I'm just gonna add this here. If the pan is a little dry, you might wanna add a couple squirts of some olive oil spray or just some non-stick cooking spray. Nothing crazy, just a little bit, just so it don't stick too bad. Sometimes I just like to have it cool down a little bit before I put the eggs in there, just so it's not just going crazy when you pour it in there. Okay, we'll go ahead and add the eggs now. Okay, so the eggs are pretty well done. I like to just set this off the burner and just kind of let it chill for a minute while I get the plate ready. Okay, so ideally you would want to get the low carb tortillas, but I just got whole wheat flour tortillas today. I'll be using 2 of these, and it's gonna be 22 grams of carbs a piece. So just keep that in mind. If you use the low carb ones, I think it's like 7 a piece, so it really changes up the carbs. So ideally, it would be better to use the low carb ones and then just have like oatmeal or something as the source of carbs. So, and I'm also going to be using cheese. So regular cheese is going to have quite a bit of fat in it. Again, ideally to use a low fat or fat-free cheese. So I'm not using low fat cheese. So it's got 9 grams per serving, but I'm going to use half a serving. You can always compromise. You can always make things better just by small changes like that. So I'm gonna have 2 of these. So I'm basically just gonna half this out, put half of it on this tortilla. So I don't really weigh anything else. The only other thing that I measure is the cheese, because you don't want to go overboard on the cheese. So for 1 serving, it is 28 grams. So we're gonna need 14 grams total. And we're having 2 of them, so we're gonna need 7 grams for this one here. The good thing for me is I don't need a whole lot of cheese. So if you're somebody that loves cheese, you're gonna wanna go with low fat or fat-free cheese. So that's pretty much it. I'm just gonna pop it in the microwave, just kind of melt the cheese. So here is the finished product. It's very good, it's very fulfilling. So the macros we're looking at here is about 37 grams of protein, 44 grams of carbs, and 20 grams of fats. And the calories is gonna be right around 500. So not bad on the macros. It could be better, like I said, with a couple of small changes, but ideally I would like the fat to be a little bit lower and the carbs to be a little bit higher. From the what I'm eating right now, I kind of have more carbs. So the only other things that I take with breakfast is some supplements. I don't take a whole lot of supplements, but I have a multivitamin here and an omega-3 here. So this is bottom shelf stuff, guys. So I don't spend a whole lot of money on my supplements right now. It's not to say that the higher price stuff isn't higher quality, because I think they are. If you're in a position where you need to be on like a better budget or just a lower budget, don't be afraid to get the bottom shelf stuff or get cheaper stuff. In my opinion, I think they work still, just not as well. Sometimes they're just not as easy on the stomach or the digestive systems or whatnot. But yeah, I take these 2 every single day. I think you need to be taking some type of multivitamin every day, no matter what you're trying to do. And I also take creatine every day, not always for breakfast, but this is what I take here. Once again, bottom shelf stuff. I think this has actually been really helpful, even though it's on the cheaper side. Once again, it's just, I think the main thing is maybe a little bit performance, but the main thing is just more on the digestive system and how it affects your stomach and stuff like that. If you're somebody that can deal with that, then don't be afraid to go with the cheaper stuff. But if you want more higher quality stuff, it's really not that much more to spend on these things. But since I take them pretty often and pretty consistently, that's why I'm kind of leaning towards that. So I'm not going to recommend these supplements to you guys. Eventually I would like to get to where I would have a specific brand I can recommend to you guys for performance-based, just all around good supplements. But right now, those are the things that I'm taking every day, and that's what my breakfast has been looking like lately. So I just got finished with my 10-week conditioning program that I'm going to link up in the description if you guys want to download that for free. It's just gonna ask for your email, and then it'll send it right over to your email. So make sure to check that out. Let me know what you think. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to get more strength and conditioning videos, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single video. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.